Hi there, I'm Chia, Customer Development and Marketing Manager at Trunomi, and this is our CTO, Naresh Singhal. So to kick off today, I'd like to talk about the convergence that our founder saw in financial markets when he came up with Trunomi in 2014. So first was technological innovation, seen by the entrance of FinTechs, the rise of mobile banking, opening of API platforms, and distributed computing. Add to that the evolution of the customer, a more empowered, technically savvy individual who's becoming more aware of the value of their personal data, and they're demanding transparency and control. And yet, on the whole, most banks are still failing in delivering true customer centricity. And lastly, the explosion of regulatory policy that we've seen in the last 10 years, which so far the industry has combated insufficiently with band-aid solutions of redocumentation. So to combat this, our founder envisaged a solution whereby individuals could share only what you want, with who you want, for what purpose, for how long, and to be able to prove it. So to solve this, we built a consent-driven data and rights management platform comprised of the following key elements. Personal data stores, which connect to the platform to authenticate, verify, and validate the individual. We then bind to that data share the context of the share. What is this data to be used for? We then add duration permissioning. How long do they have access to my data? And finally, one of our 5 patent filings is the ability to deliver a consent certificate, which proves the interactions, what we call a true cert. So more about our platform. We have customer interfaces which power the personal data store. These can be deployed over app or browser and within existing internet bank interfaces. It's important to note that we are a white label technology, or Trunomi, inside. And then within the bank's secure DMZ, we provide a data and rights management database to track the data rights over those customers' data. So 2 things to remember: Trunomi never sees, holds, or touches the data. It resides only with the bank and or with the customer. And 2, we're an API consent layer which integrates with existing technologies, legacy banking technologies, and third-party providers. So what use cases are we looking at? In the financial industry, our main use cases are around the digitization and automation of banking processes, personalization of the customer journey, and solving regulatory compliance. As you can see, there are many of them. We're not going to go into detail all of them today, but feel free to talk to us later. Any use case involving the consented need for personal data, we solve. We're also seeing use cases across other verticals. We've already explored engagements in insurance, marketing, telco, with healthcare to follow next year. Here's a screen grab of the technology just to show the ease for the customer journey with updating their personal information for banks. So the size of the problem, and therefore the opportunity, as I'm sure you all know, is huge. Annual $2.4 billion was spent on compliance last year, and that's rising at a rate of 12% per year. Fines and sanctions for non-compliance are also growing massively, as much as 4% of global revenue under new EU GDPR regulations. And as you can see here, this is what banks are spending their money on. Compliance is a huge issue for banks. So we're a B2B. We've also built out a very large distribution network of partners who help us deploy our platform. We have full financials and pro formas for anyone interested. Talk to us later. Our team, we're a global team spread across 3 offices, the largest of which is here in the Valley. And since launch, we've seen significant awards and recognition, most recently in May in New York at the Benzinger FinTech Awards, where we won Most Promising Startup and Best Proprietary Data and API Platform. And that's all. We'll take questions.